All right. Basement tapes number 5757. That is two prime numbers combined together to make one. 19. Where are we? We're in 1950 something here. We're in 1955. Okay. And what I'm finding out here is we're looking at the 1955 Bowman. Nope, I'm sorry, the 1955 Tops, I should say. Uh, Rails and Sales series. So rails and sales, you say, we're talking about sales as far as SAILS. There are 200 cards in this set, and they talk about the seas and the train tracks, I guess. And we're going to look into that a little bit here in a minute. Produced by Topps, 200 cards total, $795 average value, $1,590 total value. A set of these will cost you between $1,050 and $2,100, depending on the condition. So, non-sports, we are gathering the imaginations of young boys and young girls throughout and looking at the history of boats and trains. And not a lot of information exists out there for this set, especially on Beckett. We'll look at TCDB here again. Packaging, let's look at the packaging. Packaging is a beautiful red, white, and blue packaging with full boat. Maybe it's a schooner, maybe it's a brigantine. I don't know, but red, white, and blue, rails and sails. There's a big, I guess, coal locomotive, bubblegum, picture cards, 5 cents. Official trading cards, collect them, trade them, TCG. More hobby cards, and the pack looks pretty cool too. The pack of cards, the 5-cent pack, and I assume there are 5, 6, or 7 cards per pack here. Rails and sails, there is a railroad signal with an arm that comes down, and there is a boat anchor untethered laying on its side. Back of the pack says, Young America's favorite bubblegum, Bazooka, biggest comics, too big chews, save Bazooka comics for free prizes. So there is a flattened out, a wax pack there, more vivid colors. Really cool piece of Americana there. Of course, gum base, sugars, corn syrups, and flavor, and U.S. certified color. Haven't gotten the bottom of what certified color means, but we also have cello packs there and the like. There's also 1 cent, or as we would say, penny packs, 1 card, most likely. So trivia about this set is these train cards have white front borders, while ship cards are borderless. That's full bleed, as they say. American card catalog references are 714-17. So post 48, as we say, are 714-17. R714-17. All right, let's look at the gallery, and then we can kind of see what we have here. I have one of these cards, actually, and I'm trying to find out what exactly it is. So let's see which one I have. I have the USS Indiana, which is card number 180, apparently. Let's go over to the gallery over here at TCDB. And you could see a beautiful, beautiful Locomotive 999 leads us off with card number 1. And the backs of the cards are cool as far as the trains. We see the railroad signal, red, yellow, green, with an arm coming down at a railroad crossing, it appears, and card number 1 written right in there. So there's a cartoon on the back. There's a trivia question. There is all sorts of fun stuff and a write-up on all these cars. There's also an electric locomotive from the Pennsylvania Railroad. So fun little stuff there. The trains look like they're coming in heavy in the first bunch of cards, and then perhaps we eventually, I would imagine, get to the actual sales part. And here's a sailing car, card number 59, from the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad, which is simply a buggy on wheels on train tracks with a sail. Practically Amish, if you ask me. Self-powered, as they say. There's one with a horse, the horse treadmill car from the B&O Railroad, with a chap with a top hat and a horse, and he's standing behind the horse. I'm not sure if that's the right place to be for many reasons, but there is a horse treadmill car from the 1830s on this in this card set. So eventually we will get to the sales, We'll keep plowing through here. I imagine maybe if we get to card 99, that will be the fulcrum that tips us over to the waterways. Anticipation is building. And of course, I was wrong because 100 is another one of those railroad cars. So moving on, let's look to see if you're into trains. This is the place to be. I was into trains when I was little, as were most of us, and of course, it is still a huge hobby. We talk about the baseball trading card hobby, but boy, the train situation is just as out of control and just as fanatical, and probably just as expensive as what we do. So, card number 131 is a war galley card. 12th century Venetian craft. This is on the seven seas, or at least one of the seas. Why don't I read about the War Galley, 12th century Venetian craft? Uh, the backs of these cards have flags to kind of indicate what's going on there on the water, and an anchor with the card number in the bottom left prominently displayed. So we see a couple flags and what they mean: Dollar Line, Donaldson Line, Eastern SS lines, and the Fabry lines, I guess. Anyway, War Galley, during the Middle Ages, Venice was at the height of her glory. Many of her ships were floating palaces. Outside, they gleamed with gold and brilliant colors. Inside, they were decorated with rare woods. There were beautiful carvings everywhere, and the sails were of embroidered silk. These marine masterpieces were often rowed over the calm Mediterranean by galley slaves chained to the oars. So, if that doesn't give you something to aspire to, rowing, being a slave chained to your oars, then I don't know how much more you can be motivated to try to advance in life. The Isle of Shoals Lighthouse in New Hampshire is also pictured on that card. So lots of cards, modern, old, 16th century United States warships. There's destroyers, there's express pleasure craft, cruiser, or Chris craft, as they would call it, but all sorts of fun boats and trains and stuff like that. The Brigantine is number 171, by the way. SS United States is currently card 172 here, but it's anchored in Philadelphia as we speak. At one point, set the Atlantic crossing record. Things sitting there rotting in South Philadelphia, right around Snyder Avenue. If you want to go take a look, take a picture, and maybe every time I drive by, I wonder if it's the last time I'll see it. So card number 200. Let's get down to the back of this set, see what's going on here. Card number 200 is the flat top, a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier. Yeah, so this flat top giant with its massive superstructure far on the starboard side seems lopsided and unwieldy. It isn't wieldy. It isn't. It is faster than many luxury liners and agile as a polo pony. It can turn almost in its own length and tear off a new course. It has sledgehammer firepower. It has an unbelievable cargo capacity. Carriers usually have two destroyer escorts when traveling in war zones. So that's the wonderful depiction of a flat top U.S. Navy aircraft carrier of unknown name. We don't know what the name is, but it's all right there in the 1955 tops, rails, and sails set. And again, I have 1 out of 200 of these. These are a come as I get them as they come. Big collections, little collections, toss-ins, stuff like that. So, yep, 1955 tops, sails, and rails. We are still trying to capture all sorts of markets here, not only baseball, football, but also history buffs, boating buffs, warmongers, anything in there that we can capture that nickel out of some poor little kid's pocket. Still happening today, wouldn't you say?